Video 12. October 23, 2010. Mythi, will you Andromedans be here even after the change process to compose some sort of social coordination? See, my friend, when I say I'm from Andromeda, that does not mean that we are the official representatives of our galaxy. Because there are over 240 breeds of intelligent societies over there, including insect races. All of them are also of Andromeda. Possibly other races coming from Andromeda Galaxy have been here. We know many other races of the Milky Way, but it does not mean that some of them represent your entire galaxy. Yes, we should be here more actively in contact. Because it was the choice of our rulers through the Community Galactica, to help this new colony and others in other solar systems of the Milky Way. One day we'll all be in the MilkyAndromeda or Andromeda Way. Steve asks, what is the fabric of your craft made up of to travel through space? Steve, our ships are built in our colony, on the sixth planet, called Sitka. We have large facilities there to build ships and stations. Many experts are of some races, Pleiadians and Andromeda's Greys, working in joint venture with us on several projects. We have a lot of exchange of labor between specialized breeds associated with the Community Galactica. Some breeds are better in construction technology of large fuselages. Others, programming, others, instrumentation, others, propulsion, etc. Each one builds ships according to convenience and utility. We have models that we export in exchange for raw materials and other goods, customized by buyers. We use metal alloys that are among your aluminum and stainless steel, but with programmed molecules, and it totally changes the behavior of materials as they adapt automatically to the most severe conditions. The most important items are the fields of energy, which are the actual insulating housings of the spacecrafts. Steve asks, during the NASA tether incident, it seemed to appear that craft were surrounding the tethered object. Was this true, or were they ice crystals? Steve, there are unintelligent beings that live and feed on energy. These beings live and breed like your hydras, only in space. They are a matter of biological plasma, and when they find some source of energy, they are attracted, absorbing as much as they can. They are harmless but take in a great deal of energy into their bodies. They are pulsating in circular shapes or tubes that twist all the time. The closest they come near the surface is the upper atmosphere because, if left too long in gaseous elements, they dissolve slowly by ion exchange of energy with the environment. They are similar to the ones living in the water of your seas. If they stray too close to the beach, they sink into the sand and die from dehydration. They vary from small balls to large masses, many miles in length, wandering aimlessly through dark matter in the universe. If you hit them with a spaceship, they simply divide into smaller masses of the same species. Mike asks, we have evidence that humanity has lived through several
civilizations
in its history on this planet, but I personally suspect, like others, there are civilizations that went from being cave dwellers to having high technology several times, only to self-degrade or become destroyed, returning almost to the caves again. Do you think this is cyclical, or is it different this time? Mike, the Earth was the birthplace of several civilizations that were ahead due to the intervention of some extraterrestrial races to begin development on an experimental basis. Early great civilizations that existed here were regional. It's as if your community were to engage in the development of a tribe of natives. This tribe will excel over the other tribes, assimilating much of your technology and knowledge. They would be so disjointed from their original environment that they must be integrated into your own society as citizens in development. What happened on Earth was the development of experimental isolated cultures that were at one time transferred to more developed colonies. These cultures were what you call Atlantis, Sumerians, Vedas. There was a great civilization, approximate 12,000 years ago where Turkey is today, called Saxes, about which your historians know absolutely nothing. All were very advanced, and the only way to continue acquiring knowledge was to be transferred to a colony that was at the height of the level of frequency that they had reached. So, this happened to the Saxes, Vedas, Sumerians, Egyptians, Mayans, Incas, Aztecs, and a multitude of old Asian ethnicities. Now it's a totally different situation. The Earth has reached a globalized stage. Almost all of your cultures have the same access to information and technology, having reached the threshold of a change of age. As I explained earlier, those who have not reached the correct frequency at this stage will be transferred naturally to the two colonies of humanoids that are more delayed in their development. The Earth will enter a stage of equilibrium with the environment. The colony will keep its population more controlled and have a harmonious relationship with the planet's resources. We have waited a long time for the entry of the Earth as a colony, mature and balanced, into our community. Finally, it will happen, even if it costs a little intercession. Mythi asks, there is a theory that the Earth is hollow, and there is a descendant population of the Lemurian advanced civilization that lives inside the planet, with entrances on the north and south poles. Do you know anything about this? Mike, there were very old underground bases in South America, Asia, Europe, but now some are purposefully flooded with water. The Antarctic base sits on a large fault line that forms a large underground area. 200 by 12 miles equals 2,400 square miles. A large base exists there with plenty of infrastructure, and its entrance is covered by a curtain of steam, preventing it from being displayed. There are also some submarine bases of research that harbor spaceships and hundreds of researchers, but that civilization inside the Earth does not exist. The Earth is not hollow. I believe these legends give testimony to the fact that ships are entering and leaving these old bases. Carlos asks, do you use robots to perform any functions? Carlos, we use robots to do heavy work, repetitive or risky. We have solitary exploratory units, which almost
think
themselves, solving simple situations and survive in harsh environments. When we cannot land on any planet with conditions of extreme temperature or pressure, we send those units that are controlled mentally by their operators as if they themselves were in place. We use a helmet with a holographic 3D display that has the same field of view and, through the sensors of brain waves, we control all the movements in real time, including conversation with native. It is because of these facilities that we are smaller and weaker than you, many generations without having to do too much force. But in compensation, we are faster because our muscle reactions are 5 times more accelerated than yours. Our brain frequency is also higher than yours and can think faster. But anyway, this is just practice. And you'll get there easily aided by the new frequency of the planet and some special elements that we can provide to aid in brain activation. A probe from Earth sent several pictures of a moon of Saturn, called Lepidus. It does not seem normal. You know something of it? I know what moon you're talking about. This moon is not really natural. It is an ancient space station that is still in regular use. It is owned by a breed originally from what you call the constellation Camelopardalis. They use it as a warehouse for mining liquid gases and minerals that are abundant in Saturn. They have also been exploring minerals in your moon for a long time. They have large mining machines there. They export to various planets. They have a portal for transporting materials that you can find at Saturn's space station and in another identical space station on your moon, like a tower lots of miles tall with an elliptical sphere on top. I personally have never been inside there, but they are a good society. I saw news that this month an entire village was taken by a strong light, in China. The news seems very strange, and may have even happened. It's a little anarchy that reigns here nowadays. I did not want to alarm you by this, but things like that may be happening in different parts of the planet without any control. There are many races around, many spaceships. Some races may be taking samples of your races to their colonies. They know that when you are recognized as a race, they can no longer do things like that. Some of them have good intentions because races are related in origin, and these Earthlings can be useful for the genetics of their breed. They know that many people will be eliminated in the process and are
saving
a few people of the existing races here in your settlements. Dave asks, do other aliens visit Earth and hide their identity, and if so, how do they look like normal people? Dave, I think I understand your question. There are many breeds that are similar in appearance to you. They could move perfectly in your cities without being noticed, like some Pleiadians. You cannot transmute the image if this is your doubt. A reptilian always appears the way it is, so it cannot masquerade as a humanoid and pass unnoticed. Mythi, on rigs you mentioned to regulate the Earth's core, after some research. We discovered yesterday that one of the sites has been known to Earthlings for a long time, in the mountains of Siberia. Do you believe there are no problems for this? No problem. We know that location is already known, but believe me, you will never have access to that rig since if disturbed, it sinks 200 or 300 meters further. They were brought here in the year 1848 because your sun would be going through a great period of dangerous instability until 1860. As you can verify in your old history. And since then, the two rigs are available.